What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. I also love these conversations, so thought I'd bring back another one. Hope everyone's doing well. It's February already. I can't believe it. Shout out to all you people who do that Hallmark holiday next week. I'm gonna have a lovely couple on. It will be pre-recorded because you shouldn't be home watching when you could be out doing something else or staying in doing something else. But I'm going to jump right into it. Tonight, we have a returning guest on the conversation. This brother's been on before, and he reached out to me, and we had a nice little conversation. And I was like, yeah, let's do this again because it's too many question marks out there. And I don't know, allegations. What would you call them, Nick? Allegations, misunderstandings.
Yeah,
That's what we're here to.
allegations, a whole bunch of stuff. It just is what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm. We got
But
Nick
somebody,
movie AB Impulse, by the way, if you didn't see the title.
yeah, I try to make it big there so everybody can see who I am, in case you don't know.
First things first, I have this shirt on, so I think it bears a little storytelling here. I'm gonna stand up so the people can see. If you know, you know. If you know about the purple tape, you know. So tell them the story behind the purple tape shirt.
All right, so actually, you are the only one that has that shirt. That was one of my original designs. Unfortunately, Wu Tang themselves flagged me for copyright infringement, and I tried to fight it, and they were like, no, anything Wu Tang, it has to go through Wu Tang. And I'm like, okay, so then you got to take down everybody else's
Right?
on this in order to do that. And literally, I still see the purple tape all over the place. So
Yeah.
maybe in some way, shape, or form, maybe you'll see it down the line. Maybe they wanted to steal the design. So
Maybe.
it is what it is.
But I saw this and I was like, oh yeah, this takes me back, man. This
You
takes me
can't
back.
you can't deny. I remember when I was a kid, a teenager, when that came out, I didn't know that the purple tape was Cuban Link. So
Yeah.
I thought it was two different things. So I
Mm-hmm.
bought both of them, not realizing that cassette tape would actually
Same
be
thing.
worth like a lot of money. Another thing too, I got my other design on.
Nice. Let's
I
blow
was
you
just
up. Let's
talking
blow you
to
up. There you go.
I was just talking to my brother Cal, and we were talking about Nas I Am, the album, and It's a Dirty Game. Is any man worthy of fame? And
Yep.
the bottom of the shirt really expresses me. Much success to you, even if you wish me the opposite.
Love it. Love it.
You can't hate on somebody for their success that you don't have or you think you should have.
Yeah.
I never could.
We're going to talk about that tonight. And amongst other things, of course, we love movies. So we're definitely going to talk some movies here and there. But for anyone in the live stream, lurking, or in the chat, go ahead and drop your questions if you have any questions for Nick. I put it out before for people to send me questions or anonymously send questions. So this is your time now. If you want to ask any additional questions, go ahead and do so by putting it in the chat. We'll try to get to it. But
And I do want to say I appreciate the support. People actually are in here showing up. It means a lot. It's not that I'm, looking for a popularity contest or anything like that. I just do entertaining videos, and one of them I shouldn't have did, but I was warned before I did it, so it is what it is.
We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that. We are not alone. So before we get the questions going, let's see who is in the chat hanging out. First and foremost, we got the man from Jersey, Jerry. Salute, salute, salute. Just here to shout out my guy, Nick. Great guy. Indeed, indeed. We got the monkey on the check-in with the intro. My intro for the coolest in style and class makes me sniff a bag of cooking sugar from watching the intro kicked my ass. Yes, I'll be feeling that in 2 weeks. You said I was cooking sugar.
Shout out real quick. I know he's probably not watching because I mean he's a busy guy, but pain in the ass, he
Yes,
really
sir.
did me a solid. That is for anybody speculating. That is the real pain in the ass that did my intro.
Okay.
And I couldn't, and no, I didn't pay him or anything like that. I've been talking to him for years and never asked him for anything. And the second I asked him to do it, he was on board. So
Yep.
that is the real pain in the ass for all of you who said that I got some pre-recorded and for somehow I put my name in there. And I don't even know how I would do that.
Why?
But it is, like I said, it's the hate. Like I literally got a DM. I got a DM from somebody. I won't mention no names, but he literally put in there, "How did you get Wayne?" And I said, "I'm humble. I just asked him. I never asked him for anything else."
Yeah.
And I still talk to him. And he said maybe one day if the schedules work out and I start live streaming, he'll join me, which I would love to have you and a bunch of other guests. And I finally got my laptop fixed thanks to my wife. So I'm about to start ready to live stream too.
That'll be dope for sure. Let's see who else is in here. We got Adrian James in the check-in. How you doing? We got Gunchi on the check-in from Taiwan. We got Johnny. What's up, cool kid?
What's up, Johnny? Tiana. Stop dodging me, my man. Top 5. Let's go.
Oh, man. What's up, Tiana? We got Corey in the house saying, what's up? We got Mama Blu-ray. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed that Thanksgiving movie. She gave it a round of applause. She stood up like the people do in the theater and then clapped at the movie. Love it. We got Magic Hand saying, what's up? People saying hi to each other. We got the King of the Steel Books, Movie Hunter 2020. Make sure to smash that like button. Always like to see that. We got my man Mark in here saying, hey.
What's up, Mark? I got to get him on the top 5 too.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
He knows his stuff, man. He knows
yes,
his
sir.
Stuff.
I watch his videos. I'm aware. Yeah.
What's up, sweetheart? We got Draculina Horror in the house. So happy to see Mr. Nick on the conversation again. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. We
got Kal-El Daily saying hello to everyone.
Kal-El, the big Nas and Jay battle. Love you though, brother. I love you. Words of wisdom.
Tim Talks Talkies on the check-in. What's up, Timmy? Go ahead and check out his video on the top 25 of the 70s movie. If you get a chance, drop a comment, do a video. The more entries, the better. Those things are always fun. So shout out to Tim for doing them. And shout out to everyone who's popping videos out, just showing what their top 25 are or top.
Yeah, 25. I've only got 3, so I didn't put anything together. It's Godfather, Godfather 2, and Raging Bull. That's it. 70s movies. There you go. I can't do 25. I don't even have
do 15.
25.
Do 10.
I don't even think I have 10, man. I really don't.
I could pull 10 from here right now that you see.
I could go back and pull 10 too. You ain't the only one with movies, KB.
I'm saying you could pull 10 that you know and you like.
Maybe I'll do it. I got time. I'll give you 10.
You got time this week. 10. Who else in here? Boom, boom, boom. We got Mr. Tony in the house. Good evening to you, sir. We got Brother Dell in the house saying, what's up?
Dell, go cop a shirt, man. I need some more support with the brothers. Well, you're up to 3 shirts now, right?
Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. I came in on talk of the purple tape. If you know, you know. That's right.
Ooh.
All right.
I know, man. I wish they would have kept that design up, man. I really like that one. That's probably one of my favorites besides the Jay-Z and the one I have on. It's probably one of my favorites right there.
He's digging the quote on the shirt. There you go. Go and cop that shirt then. Nas is number one. Nas is like is one of his best. Love the quote. Get it on a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have people in and out. So definitely if you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button. Dell has a question. I'm going to store that and come back to it. Boom, 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 boom. We got Killa in the house. What's up, Melly Mel? Who else? I don't know what they're talking about here. Something with Chat GPT. We got another question from Tim. We'll come back to. Because we do have some questions. We had people come in with questions, so definitely going to start with those. So funny that he's in here. We're going to start with the only non-anonymous question that I got beforehand, and it's from no one else but Mr. Cal Al Daly himself. He writes,
here we go.
Why doesn't he realize not just Nas, but Tupac is better than Jay-Z? He's starting you off.
We just had this conversation. I've been voice texting him for about an hour now, back and forth.
Yeah.
So basically I told him like I'm gonna tell you, Jay got me through a lot of hard times in my life. Before Jay-Z, Ghostface out of Wu-Tang was my favorite rapper. Mm-hmm. And before him, it was Craig Mack. And before him, it was Nine. And a lot of people don't even know who Nine is.
Really?
So, yes. Come on. Everybody wants heaven in all one day. Red Rum. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. So, like, a lot of hip-hop just got me through. But what really made me grow into hip-hop was the transition from house music, in freestyle music, because that was the only thing that my parents would let me listen to. I was telling Cal backstage, my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. So, I kind of had like that Ja Rule background, that he got made fun of for, but they were so disconnected. But when it came to like Christmas and birthdays, all of a sudden they was Jehovah's again because we didn't celebrate it. So it kind of saved them money. But, Jay just got me through like some of the roughest times, and same with Ghostface. When he's talking about kicking roaches out the cereal box, that was me.
Yeah.
And then we still ate it. That's the crazy part. Not having milk and having to put water in cereal. Yeah. Only getting what food stamps approved of back then, which was Kix, Rice Krispies. And what did you do? Spoonful of sugar, sprinkle it on. And, before I started doing what I had to do and hustling and doing what I had to do when my step pops walked out, Jay was just like the only thing that I listened to actually get more street knowledge than what I picked up. Because like I said, you're known. When I was growing up, I didn't look up to superheroes. I looked up to the local drug dealer. Right. He was pulling up in an M3 and I'm like, yo, how the hell did you get an M3? And, right. So Jay just got me through some times, and I'll never say that Jay isn't the GOAT. I just can't. I can't bring myself to it. And I know y'all like to say that he bit rhymes and all that, and most are called pay homage. That's what I call it. But to me, once he said, truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense, but I made $5 million, I ain't been rhyming like Common Sense, because that music doesn't sell. Jay is a businessman. But if y'all really go back and listen, if you go back and listen to even before Reasonable Doubt, when he was putting out I Can't Get With That, things of that nature, it was always knowledge of the streets, knowledge of the game, knowledge of what you do. So to me, he's an entertainer, and his lyrics will always touch me. And, number one album is always going to be Reasonable Doubt for me.
Yeah.
So
he adds on.
I still love you, Cal. I still love you, man. I got love for you, brother.
He said he told him off. My feelings are touched.
he did, he got me at first, man. He sent me a little thing, and I'm like, come on, man, why are you sending me old shit? But me and Cal, we can have those, like me and you, you can go back and forth. We can have a conversation without it getting to that point of we're not getting in each other's feelings. I'm sure that Run DMC for somebody is their favorite hip hop artists. Same with
What they came up on.
Rakim. I pay much homage to Rakim, but I didn't grow up on Rakim. I
Yeah.
grew up on listening to house music and freestyle music. That's why I made a video about it, because it is a forgotten genre that we don't even think about anymore. But that music just made you feel good.
Yeah.
And I just love to be happy at this point. I spent so much time in my younger years and my teenage years being miserable. I don't have time for it anymore.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, he was hot for about 9 minutes, yo. He had two.
But he had skills,
two
man.
singles.
Yeah,
He had two singles.
I still have that CD, man.
I don't have it anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was hot for about 3-4 minutes.
So what's up, nerd? There are two different directions I want to go tonight. You tell me where you want to start. Of course, the movie stuff, the films, the collecting, and the real. You want to start with the films and then we'll get into the real?
No, let's do the real.
Let's do the real. All right. So with that in mind, I'm going to start with a anonymous question that was sent in. And this has a little bit to do with film, but it really has to do with the real. So someone sent in this question asking, why did you start Life Lessons? What is the hardest part about making those videos compared to your others?
Okay, so for me, I started making Life Lessons because when I started thinking about what I've been through, what I've done, the things that I've looked back on in my life that I wish I could change, I always felt like there's somebody else in that situation right now. So addiction is at the highest level it's been since the 80s and the crack era and the heroin era. I mean, now it's just replaced with Molly and Percocets and painkillers. So, that being my first video, I shared my experience when I lost my finger. And yes, I lost my finger and I got addicted to Vicodin because in my head, the pain never went away. It didn't matter how many times I popped a pill or anything like that. And it was the doctors that got me addicted to it because they just kept feeding it. And that's what happens a lot of these times, is that it's the doctor that will push it down your throat. But then when they start to get looked at, or they're not going to make any more money off that product, then they'll just cut you off. And another reason why I started making it is because my son, my youngest, doesn't really know what I've been through. And because I'm old to him and I'm not like Mr. Beast or famous YouTuber, I wanted to leave behind a legacy. So no matter where, I don't think YouTube will ever go anywhere. I think those videos will forever be somewhere in the atmosphere. So if I pass away, my son can go back and look at the extravagant life that his father experienced and then the life that his father led up to, because my son doesn't know broke because we don't allow him to see it. That was my parents' biggest downfall. When we were broke, that was the first thing they said, and like my son comes up to me and he's like, hey, Dad, can we get this? And all I got to do is say next week. And then he knows, it's, I don't have it right now, but next week I got you.
Yeah.
So for me, really, the life lesson is if I could just help one person get through the depression, or one person get through addiction, or one person rethink before they start bagging up. Because now, weed is nothing now. But back when I was doing that, that was something. You got caught with a dime bag, you could have been doing 5 years. You know what I mean? It's different now. But, I don't want somebody to go down that path that has another path that they can take. You're always going to come to a fork in the road, and it's whether you want to go left or right. And when you look at, like me, I was looking at the dealers at that time. They had it then and they had it now. But now I look back at those same dealers that I knew from my hood, they're all in jail.
or 6 feet under.
They're not. And now I'm the one that's driving a Lexus. My wife is driving a brand new SUV because we worked hard for it. We own our own house. So
Yeah.
I don't want somebody going down that path trying to get the quick money. And plus, my son, he knows it now because he secretly watches my videos. He just doesn't tell me but he knows now. And he's at an age where, like I said, if I pass away, he has something to look back on. And that's what makes it different. My other videos, I just have fun. I turn on the camera, I speak my mind, and I give my best to what I think. I got hell for Enter the Dragon. And I actually have a video.
I forgot to tell you that I watched it. I watched it last Monday. I said I would tell you when I watched it. What I should have did was I should have been watching it with the bitrate monitor on, because like there were like dips. Like when it looked good, it looked real good.
Yeah.
But
And
then there were dips. It was almost like there were parts of the restoration that were coming from two different camera negatives, and two different people did the restoration, or two different groups did the restoration. So some were like, let's make this pristine, let's make this look real dope. Others like, let's preserve the grain, let's give it a little bit of an old school feel. And when you kind of match them up together, even like shot reverse shot in the same scene, it was like, it wasn't looking. And I actually stopped and rewound it a couple of times just to go from like perspective A to perspective B, and it was two different. I don't know, but I see what you were talking about. But yeah, I think once people hear, and this is just going to cover all bases here. Once people hear something that is different enough from what they are told is standard quo or status quo, they have a problem with that. So I don't care if we're talking about a movie review. I've done movie reviews written and online where I disagreed with everybody else. And the whole thing about it is I thought you wanted my opinion. It wasn't like you wanted everyone's opinion and just have this monolithic like opinion. You wanted my opinion. You came to my site. You came for my review. It might be different than next dude, but it's mine. That's what you wanted, right? That's why you're here. You want my review. So yes, I do see what you were saying in the video. And if anybody hasn't seen it, go and check out his review for Enter the Dragon.
Which that got a lot of views. I'm still, I think the shittiest part is my top 5 Dolby Atmos video that I did a year ago, where I did the split screen. I was talking about Andrew and all that, and I'm always shouting people out. That one did over 21,000 views. So,
Popular
and then,
topic.
And when I tried to chase that, and that was like my biggest problem. When I realized that I have to stop chasing that video is when I just started making videos for me. And here's the funny part, and I'll let you in on a little secret. Since I got this Sony TV, which shout out to Sony. Oh my God.
Is it the A95?
Huh? No.
No,
it's a X90, the X90L. 75
ain't
inch.
nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, no. And
for its size, it gives a crisp picture.
I'll tell you, I rewatched Enter the Dragon yesterday, and it was a lot cleaner, but still not up to what it should be on a 4K restoration.
Yeah.
Now, somebody in the comments told me that they did use a different negative. They didn't have the original negative. So maybe that does have something to do with it.
I think so.
But I can also tell you that, when they redid Goodfellas, they didn't use the original negative, and they did. So, you kind of take what somebody says with a grain of salt.
Yeah. What's up, Mega Mike? Thanks for dropping in. Dell adds, Nick's Enter the Dragon review is why I was comfortable skipping the 4K and rocking with the Criterion. The Criterion looks beautiful.
I heard the Blu-ray looks really good.
Yeah, and it's another example. I tell people this all the time. sometimes a Criterion Blu-ray, because it's remastered at a higher bit rate, ends up being better than a 4K. Pan's Labyrinth 4K sucks. Do the Right Thing, not better than a Criterion Blu-ray. There are a couple
No,
different
because I have
examples like
that.
that.
I
So
have
for
both,
sure.
and I prefer the Blu-ray.
We got Laren in the house, dropping in, saying good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Cal agrees. Criterion set was so fire transfer wise. It really is. It made me kind of leery about getting the Arrow. I didn't pick up the Arrow because I'm satisfied with Criterion. If I saw it on sale, I might, but I'm not about to drop all that cash for possibly being satisfied on top of something I already was satisfied with. So
yeah,
Criterion transfer I find are the best, and I'm not a Criterion guy. Yeah, it happens. It happens.
it does.
Let's see. Going back to what we were saying about the review, they might have wanted your agree. Yeah, I think that's what happens. And when you're someone who isn't a yes guy, or not always agreeing with people, and you're okay with that, people get upset.
Yeah,
With that in mind,
no,
let me
was,
shift. Oh, go ahead.
No, that was one of the comments that was left on that Enter the Dragon. He was like, "Well, Jeff said it was good," and I was like, "Okay,
okay, that's Jeff's opinion." Just like you went to Jeff's channel for his opinion.
Yeah, and then you came to mine for my opinion.
My opinion, and it just happens not to be the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a shift here. I got transfers under mine now. Since we're in this section here talking real, couple of questions from me to you. So, how would you describe yourself to someone who doesn't know you well? Not necessarily brand new off the street, but someone who doesn't know you well. How would you describe Nick to them?
Well, if you play your cards right, I'm one of the best people you can trust. I've growing up, I've had the same best friends 20, 25 years now. And even if I don't talk to them for 5 years, if I pick up the phone, call them, they're right there. Another thing is, and I've told a lot of people this, if you don't want my honest opinion and my honest answer to any question that you ask me, I prefer you don't ask, because I'm not going to tell you something that's going to put you in harm's way or anything like that. I've just always been like that. If I can't be straight up with you as a person, then you're probably not the type of person I want to be around. I surrounded myself with so much negativity younger, reason why I was in gangs and did what I did. And I did the 180 and changed, and I try to help people do the same thing. So honestly, trustworthy, that's always been me. If you need help and I can help you, I've always been there. And even people that hate me from my past that we just crossed paths, if you ran into them, they would say the same thing. Nick has always been a solid guy. I will be by your side until you cross me. But I think that's just people in general, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize for being wrong. The 2 situations that I was wrong in, I've apologized for. Now, whether they took the apology or not, that's them, but as far as me, nobody can say that I haven't told them something that hasn't come to fruition. Basically, I'm not going to give you bad advice if I myself wouldn't do it. Just like I always say, are you going to ask a person that's in a good marriage advice, or somebody that's going to be going through a divorce in a month for marriage advice? Hey, you're on mute. Your mic is muted.
Thank you. Or a single person, I was saying. It always trips me out when I see a single person being a marriage counselor and they've never been married.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be a French pastry advisor if I don't know how to cook French food. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna tell you how to make a pizza if I never made dough,
Exactly. We got Adam on the check-in. Bro, I need to get you on here to have a conversation. Get with me on Instagram. Let's do this in the near future. Nick is as real as they come. Love his channel content. He's one of the best at editing. Yes, that needs to be said.
I try.
There are people that just throw videos together. There's people that no longer love editing, but so they just make all these live streams and they maybe do like one video a quarter or something like that. I don't know who I'm talking about. No names mentioned. Might be right down there or something.
We won't say any names.
No, I'm not saying any names.
No,
just pointing. But yeah, there's something about it. There's something about the editing for sure. We got Prince in the house saying salute to you, Sir Nick. It's a good dude right there. With that in mind, I want to get to this other question.
Yeah.
So based on everything you said, and I'm not trying to open up a can of worms, but let's on the thumbnail I put too real, misunderstood. We don't know. What's the question? What's the answer? But what are some common misconceptions people have about you? And more importantly, how do you address them now versus in the past?
All right. So the biggest misconception is that I have a problem with Bob. I have a problem with Jeff. I have a problem with Ken. I have a problem with all these people. And it's really not that. The Jeff video, if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, well, I already deleted it off my channel. I got upset because I felt like he was attacking somebody that I really do love and I've defended quite a few times in the community. And I think we all know who I'm talking about, and that's Tony. I love Tony. I respect what he does, quick reviews, but I jumped in the ring and tried to take him, Jeff, head on because I thought that he was talking about, Tony in a way with the whole bootleg thing. And I was kind of warned. I was warned by a lot of people. And I just kind of was at the time, you don't think that it's going to bring that much hate or attention. And when it started to blow up and people were like, yeah, and I hate this guy. And I'm like, oh, shit, I kind of set the wrong example. It's not really a hate. It was more, if you're going to attack somebody, once again, I'm loyal. So if you're going to attack somebody that I care about, I'm going to jump in. Right. Same with Bob. I just, I had a conversation with Bob not too long ago, and we're on a mutual page. I don't hate him. He doesn't hate me. The reels, when I was trying to build up the entertainment for our battle,
people took it seriously.
People took it extremely seriously.
Even though they've seen other people do it. It's so stupid.
Well, what it was at first I was just going after Bob. And, I told Bob, I told him that I was going to be doing reels. I'm going to build up the hype and let's go. But with Bob, there's mid-levolution. So me being and watching, wrestling when I was young, I said, oh, okay, I'm going to jump on this bandwagon. If you're going to go after Hulk, you're going to have to go after NWO and all, so
ironically, 1/3 of mid-levolution, the same person that you were accused of defending previously.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I did the whole, I break tables with strong leg, so
yeah.
I just wanted to make it entertaining, and people automatically were like, yo, why are you attacking Tony? Why are you attacking Ken? And I'm like, yo, it's entertainment. Ken don't care. I talked to Ken and I was like, hey, and they're like, Ken told me straight out, he's like, I don't mind it. I think it's fun. He's like, but you are offending other people. And I was like, oh shit. So that's why after the battle, I totally deleted all of them. And I just tried to tell people it's just entertainment. There's nothing behind it. And I would tell you one thing, I am a very competitive person.
Yeah.
But if I took this competitively and I took this YouTube thing seriously, I would go after everybody's throat. And it did get to a point. I don't know if you want to go that far, but it almost got to a point where a street team was going to get involved. And I let it just
Yeah.
slide. And that's who I am. If you're going to attack something that I love or somebody that I love, I'm going to come for your throat. And it just comes with the territory. Sometimes it is very, very hard to separate entertainment and street life.
So I will say this. That was then. How is it now?
Now, like I said, I talked to Bob. I made sure he was okay because he's been gone for quite some time. And I have his number personally, and he's good. I'm good. It's not that I don't. I reached out to Ken not too recently, and I was like, hey, no hard feelings. I hope that this didn't, sour anything. Same with like Rad Pack. I offered them to come back on for a top 5 talking about The Simpsons because I'm doing a special top 5 for The Simpsons that will be coming on Wednesday. Oh, cool. And all of a sudden, nobody likes The Simpsons, but I think I think people are still scared to work with me because they think that their name is going to get tarnished or that, and here's just my opinion. They think that if Ken or a Jeff or anybody doesn't agree with it, that they're going to be put into that like, oh no, you can't watch his videos anymore. You can't support him anymore. And also the biggest downfall was I was shouting out people at first, and then I was expecting the same thing back. And when they didn't do it back, there was a part of me that was like, wow, y'all don't even have that much love. Like, you can't even say my name. Like, is it that poisoned? And, there is one person, I won't say his name, but there's one person that I keep DMing and he's not getting back to me. So I kind of get the point. But I, as a person, need to know why when we had such a good relationship, why all of a sudden you decide that you're not going to talk to me anymore. And if it's the situation that I'm thinking of, it ain't got nothing to do with you. And you should never let one person's beef mix with another. If KB had a problem with somebody that I talk to, as long as you can keep them separate, I don't care. But if you're going to badmouth KB and I'm talking to you, I'm not going to allow you to do that. Just like any situation. If y'all are in the back talking about me, God bless you, because if my name is in your mouth, my name is still in your mouth.
Right.
So what was Biggie's famous line? Make my name taste like ass when you speak it. But now I don't have any problems. And if you think I do, private DM me. I'm not one of those immature people that will put it in their stories. Never have. You can't go back in history and say, oh, me and Nick talked and he put this in his stories. I don't do that immature stuff. We should all be able to have a conversation without it getting to that point. Because trust me, I don't want it to get to that point either. And especially the street point. I don't need to show anything anymore. So it's not that serious.
This is my thing. I'm sure there's people that don't like me. I'm sure that there's people that talk about me this way, that way. I've never spent an iota of a moment thinking about them, caring about them. I'm sure there's people that make comments about people I love. But the whole thing is, it's just air to me. It's just digital zeros and ones on a screen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the fly on an elephant's back.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I have a good life. I'm blessed. All of us, anybody who
Same
has
here.
a collection in the chat, lurking on the replay, you are blessed. If you could just go and buy a movie, Plaid X2 tells the story about when he could afford Dumb and Dumber and nothing else for 1 year. Him and his girl at the time, now his wife, watched Dumb and Dumber for a whole year because they couldn't afford anything else. He was blessed, not because he could
Yeah.
afford Dumb and Dumber, but he had somebody to watch it with. So my whole thing is, if that's like taking over to the point that you don't see the blessing, it's like the priorities aren't there. I understand where you're coming from, because even if you're not directly connected in it, street mentality, when you grow up with it, it's like that's all you know.
Yeah. And
that is the way of life.
that's the biggest for
Yeah.
me. That's been one of
But
the
that is not your
biggest
life
things.
now.
No,
You got rabbits, bro. That ain't your life.
No, I got one thing I can say is I have a blessed marriage. Like I could not ask for a stronger woman. It's crazy because we weren't even looking for love. When me and my wife first got together, we weren't looking for anything, and it was just love at first sight. I have beautiful kids. I've got animal. I'm a huge animal lover. I've got 4 cats and 2 rabbits. I'm blessed in that sense. I'm blessed in that sense. My wife surprising me with the TV. Like the feeling of coming home and just like seeing this box, and I'm like, you know what I
That's a
mean?
big ass
Like
box. I almost got that TV, so it's a big ass box.
So, I'm very blessed, and all I ever ask is, if I can help somebody with an issue, a life issue. I've been through so much. There are things that I came to you about that I'm not going to speak about, KB, but there are things that I came to you about, and I'm like, yo, how do you think I should handle this? And you gave me your best advice. And it wasn't bad advice. It was advice that you've experienced. So to me, that's more important than the guy on the corner that's going to tell me something totally different.
Yeah.
And want me to get sucked into that life because he's got work for me.
That's what it is.
You see what I'm saying?
It's either you're a customer or you're a worker. Which one are you going to be? You're going to move?
Yes. And the same with when people come to me for marriage advice, I tell people straight up, I don't know that because I don't experience that.
Right.
Like me and my wife are best friends. And when you were married, that is the most important thing in the marriage, is building that connection. Is a marriage perfect? No. We have our days. No marriage is perfect.
Everybody
But, after those days, the one thing that we never do and we have never done in our relationship is go to bed mad at each other.
Smart man.
I've literally called out of work the next day.
You stayed up too late arguing?
Yes. But we got it settled. but that is
priorities.
The key.
Priorities.
Yeah. And nothing. And I mean absolutely
what's
nothing.
the point of being in a truck mad at her and you don't know what you're coming home to?
Yeah.
Stay home, stay up, resolve it, sleep with
Work that out.
Conscience. And I'm just gonna keep it 100 here. You're gonna wake up the next day.
Yep. Yep.
So,
and that's another thing too. It's you have to be willing to express all, and if you're in my heart, to me, only me, I don't know if this goes with anybody, but if you are with the right person.
Yeah.
And I knew instantly when I seen her for the first time.
Yeah.
I just knew instantly. I just got that I never felt for another woman, and I still feel like that.
Let's make a shift. Let's first say a hi to some people that popped in here. We got Caveman saying hey there to everyone. Hit the like button.
Yo, Caveman, his jokes is funny as hell, man.
Yeah, man. He keeps me laughing. Some of them are so highly disrespectful, so off color, and I'm still laughing anyway. No beefs, no feuds. Hashtag respect. Yes, sir. We got Culture Trinity in the house talking about respect. What up, what up, what up? Salute my man in the fitted. Always good to see you, my man. And we have Miss K-Man in here saying hi to everybody. Couple more comments, and then we'll switch to talk about some movie stuff. He said you got rabbits, KB. That was an ill bar. It's true. It's true. You can't be hard on the corner if you got rabbits, man. You might have a rabbit.
Yeah, nah. Well, my
You got a
rabbit's
rabbit fur.
25 pounds. She got weight to her.
I mean, she's a bully, but you know, she ain't pushing on the corner.
No,
A blessed
no.
marriage beats YouTube any day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that leads to a question we had from Mr. Dell.
Papa Bear, just leave it. I'll get it. Don't worry about it. I got it. It won't. It won't. I got you, buddy.
Daddy.
Yeah, it's just me and him. My wife is back home visiting family with the oldest, so
gotta hold him down.
We've had a great week. That's why on Sunday, man, you just can't get those times back. If you miss out on those,
once
you
again,
can't give it back. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Friday was my birthday. I had a great time once I got home. My work day wasn't great, but I had a great time once I got home.
Couple of questions here. So Dell wants to know, what have you learned about yourself since you started YouTube?
The biggest thing is making videos for me. And that's honest. I touch on subjects or movies that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. Wait till you see Sunday. I showed you a sneak peek of the thumbnail for Sunday's video.
But I'm thinking some people might remember that. They may not talk.
Well, yeah, no, I know they'll remember the movie. Yeah, but it's really what that movie has done for the culture. You know, for sure. It opened up a lot of doors. Same with Godfather. That's next Sunday. I'm talking about The Godfather. And the subject that I'm talking about The Godfather on, a lot of people would disagree, but you can't. Oh, yeah.
I just rewatched it this weekend.
Yeah. You can't deny. And part 2 being my favorite, just for the note.
Me too.
Yeah, part 2 is my favorite.
Because it really brings the old and the new together and show you how nothing's changed.
Yes. And we don't need to talk about part 3.
Nah, but I tell you what, I never watched Coda before. I always just watched the OG, and I watched Coda for the first time. It's only a few minutes different, but it seemed tighter. And I kind of did like what's that thing they do? They give you something at a fancy restaurant to clear your palate of whatever you ate before. So I did a little palate clearing before I went and watched Coda, because 1 and 2 are classics. So it's kind of hard not to compare it. Same characters, but over time, new characters, you got to see it as a separate thing. But no, we still don't talk about it. But
yeah, that's what I learned, that everybody's going to be opinionated. Everybody has their own opinion. And while I don't always buy the latest movie so I could throw a review out there, and I never actually seen the movie.
Real.
I do what I want, because at the end of the day, when you get bored of just that one criteria, you're going to look for something different. And then that's where I'll come in, or that's where a lot of other YouTubers will come in. If you set yourself apart and be different, it may take longer to get where you want to be, but eventually you'll be where you want to be. I never thought that Dolby Atmos video, when I first put it out, the first 6 months of that video, I didn't even reach 100 views. Right. And then 6 months later, it was algorithm, like, boom.
Takes off.
So
a couple more questions. People threw them in here. Thank you for everyone who threw in questions. If you have some, we're still here. So ask away. We'll try to keep them short so we could get to everybody.
Yeah, I'll try to keep the answers short, but thank you for sticking around.
Timmy chimed in talking about the YouTube and said, do you ever feel YouTube burnout? He says this stuff is exhausting sometimes, even though it's fun, but burnout is real.
Yeah. I didn't drop a video this week because family time, spending the time with my son. Like I said, you can't get those times back. So I took the opportunity with me being on vacation, and I am burnt out. My last couple of videos, I felt like they didn't really do much. and I just kind of was like, all right, well, I could take a little break. My Griselda video did pretty good, but
Yeah.
I love that series, and I wanted people to watch the review and watch it before, if her son wins this battle, Netflix has to take it down.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's already bootlegs out there as far as Blu-ray goes, but I wanted people to watch it. So
Yeah. Couple more. Let me say hi to Mr. James. Thank
what's
you
up,
for hanging
James?
out with
I got to
us.
get him on the top 5 too, man.
Yeah.
I got to
It'll be
jump
good
into
if
one of his IG lives.
top 5 criterions in his collection. That'd be a good one.
I only got like 4 or 5 criterions. I
Well,
can't.
those are your 5. Those are your 5.
I might have to borrow some from Jerry. I'll have him mail me some.
Let me hold something.
Jerry's my guy. I'll be like, yo, let me hold like 10 movies real quick. I'll ship them back.
I do want to go back to an earlier comment that Tim had when we were talking about music. And I know a lot of people feel this way. Another reason why sometimes people make connections, others don't. He says, I feel so lost with rap and hip hop. Pretty much been a metalhead and rock fan my whole life. Love the connection people have with the music, though. Music over movies if given the hard choice. It is true. I think for me, and you could probably echo this sentiment, when you see, like, to me, it's kind of like identity music. Like Once Upon a Time, they were talking about Public Enemy, and they said they're like the C and N of the hood. And it's really like, if you want to know what's going on, you listen to a Public Enemy record. But I really feel like the connection in rap music to just inner city life, and I don't care where you grew up. You grew up in New England, you grew up in New York, you grew up in Midwest, West Coast, down South, wherever in the world you are. I think when you could identify with like vernacular or places they talk about, it's like how I used to say, I don't know how Seinfeld was ever popular because they cracked so many New York jokes, but a funny joke is a funny joke no matter where you tell it. I feel the same way with rap music. Sometimes, Fife, Tribe Called Quest, has a line in Electric Relaxation where he says, bust off on your couch tonight, you got Siemens Furniture. There was a place in New York City called Siemens Furniture, and everybody in the hood went to Siemens Furniture to get it. I'm like, how do you get that line when you don't live in New York City? But it's a funny line.
Yeah, it's funny.
Siemens. Anyway, couple more.
Regardless of how people look at hip hop, it's been around for over 50 years. This is not the 50th year. It's been around a lot longer.
Just different variations of it.
Yeah, just different variations. But hip hop will always have a place in culture. And especially with the crossover, let's face it, Walk This Way was one of the best crossovers ever. And it really skyrocketed that genre, at the same time saving Aerosmith's career, because if it wasn't for them redoing that song, I don't think Aerosmith would have been where they are.
Tell them. It's so true. Couple more comments and questions. By the way, talk about the pack. Somebody shows up. So
well, they both I had Garrett, and I respect Garrett too. They, like I said, I asked them to be on The Simpsons, but they gave me the honest answer. They weren't really into that, but we all know that they're all horror. If I was to ask them to jump in on a horror conversation, I'm sure 80s, they would.
90s. The TV is hard for a lot of people. I know
it is. It is.
Right now, my wife and my daughter are just like binge watching some show. They'll watch Jane the Virgin umpteen times over. I'm like, how can you say you forgot it when you've seen this already? But so TV is hard for some people. But thanks for popping in, G. Always good. Always good. Couple of questions from the people in the chat. So Prince wants to know, what are 3 things you're most thankful for in your life, sir? We will come back, and that's how we will end it. So I'm going to keep that one in there. We'll come back. We'll give you some time to think about that. I just want to pop it up.
I don't need to think, but
well, go ahead and answer, bro.
The 3 things I'm most my wife would be number 1. Without her, my success wouldn't have come this far. And you need a strong woman behind you that believes in your goals as long as they're not too unrealistic. Because when I first met her, I told her I was going to be a famous rapper. Don't tell anybody. And my kids, you know, I wouldn't give anything up for either one of my boys. You know, my oldest and my youngest. Without them keeping me going, even my youngest, even though I'm not popular to him, he still tells me, "Dad, you can do this. You got this. You're good." And you know, my oldest has just been through so much, regardless if he knows it or not. He's a huge inspiration. We collide heads, but anybody that can survive cancer the way that he did and go through all the different emotions that he went through, you got to respect that, salute that. And number three, just being in a place where sometimes I still struggle, but I'm with the person that I want to struggle with throughout the rest of my life. So while 1 week we might be up $5,000 in our bank account and then the water main pipe bursts, you know what I mean? And when you own a house, you got to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So through all of our ups and downs, you know, I'm blessed that I have a job that cares for me, and being part of a union, that helps a lot too. But my job pays very, very well, but it's all in that I applied that, you know, and with my wife by my side, she's number one. Without her, I'll be honest, I probably would have been in jail or in a grave.
Keep it 100. We got a couple people checking in just to say hey. We got my man John Doe Juggalo. Just want to let
what
you
up,
know.
John Doe? What is a juggalo? If you know, you know.
We also got Nate popping in. Just want to pop in and show some love to my fellow Turtle fan, Nick.
That's right. I didn't even know we had a birthday 2 days apart.
That's what's up.
Mine is on the 2nd. His is on the 4th. So I already said happy birthday to him, but happy belated birthday again.
Couple more questions. Thank you everyone who's participating with the questions and checking in with the chat, keeping it moving. Tiana wants to know, what is your favorite movie from childhood that you still love watching? I think we just got a partial answer, but you could answer it for you.
Ninja Turtles being one of them. And as much hate as I get, and Cal, this is for you if you're still in the chats, Carlito's Way. Just again, something about Carlito's Way. The movie has every aspect that you want in a movie. You can't take a scene out. It's just like Shawshank Redemption. You can't take a scene out of Shawshank without getting the full story. And there's no dull moments. Carlito's Way has no dull moments. So from my childhood and my teenage years, those would be my three: Ninja Turtles, Carlito's Way, and Shawshank Redemption. I can watch those all day long. Now I know what you're gonna say, Batman and Halloween, because I have the exclusive limited edition poster back there. Only 1,000 made, and I got one of them. As much as I love them, I will still always go back to those three before I hop into Batman '89, or it's just a memory.
Yeah,
the memory for me with Ninja Turtles.
Nostalgia.
It's. I still remember the smell of the popcorn in the movie theater and my feet sticking to the ground. And that was the first. My stepdad, that was the first movie he ever took me to go see, and I still respect the man, even though we don't talk anymore. But that's what happens when you have differences. So
we got Anthony's Horror and More popping in saying, "What up, fellas? Turtle power."
A $10 Walmart hat, and I get more compliments than the $53 paper plane hat that my wife bought.
People love it. Just to let the cat out the bag, Anthony's Horror and More will be on next week with his lovely girlfriend Allie. So check it out. I've been trying to get him on the show, so it should be fun. A couple more questions, and we also have some anonymous questions still to answer. Let's get to those first, since we're going back and forth. So what's your pick for an underrated film?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Should I say what I said for Sunday's video?
No, not that one.
No. All right. Underrated. That's a tough one. For
Welcome back.
me, yeah, but I would say Chucky 2 being my favorite. I think that one's very underrated.
I
I
enjoy that
like
one.
it better than the original. Um, that one put me on the spot. I didn't think any question was going to put me on the spot, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of hard because anyone that I would mention, King of New York, me and Cal were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to talk about that movie.
And a beautiful part of the soda.
Just everybody on screen in that movie in King of New York, just phenomenal performances.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Yep. We got Kenny Levels in the house. What's up, y'all? I think I have to
What
go
up, Kenny?
Carlito over Scarface as well. Both great, though. Both great.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, but
Scarface is more quotable, but
yeah,
Carlito's Way
Carlito's
is the
Way
better
though, like I said, it has
complete.
everything: romance, violence,
Hmm.
drugs, women. I mean,
Yeah, for
you can go
sure.
any direction with it.
Couple of questions I had. So, just movie collection questions. We'll get those in
Mhm.
quickly. We're not doing a 5 take, so we're just going to take
Okay.
this to the end and land the plane. So, how do you decide to add movies to your collection? Like, is it like for me, I know when I see like what's coming out, I don't just say, oh, I need to get like all these numbered spines, or anybody who does, that's you. But it's like I look for specific movies if it's a catalog movie that I love, or if it's a boutique label doing something that I have affection for, or it's like, oh man, I missed that when it was in the theater, and I know I could get it at a good price, whatever. What's your criteria for adding something, especially as space gets more and more expensive? What makes you decide? Do you have a
It does.
system? Do you have a method? What do you do?
So I do have a method. One of the things that if it's not Umbrella is my favorite boutique label.
Okay.
I just like the way they put together box sets, like the Super Mario movie. I passed on that only because I have the DVD
Mm-hmm.
and I maybe watched it twice in my entire existence of owning the DVD. But my method is when the 4K comes out, if it's not something nostalgic that hits, I will wait for a review. So if Ken drops a review, or just somebody else random that I know I'm going to get somewhat of an honest opinion, I will jump to them. And if it's good, they say it's a good transfer, I'll go and buy it when the price drops. Because at that point, I didn't get it day one, so there's no rush.
Right.
But if they say that the transfer wasn't that good, I hit Amazon and I'll buy that Blu-ray for $5, $7, because once the 4Ks come out and it's not that good of a transfer, well, now I can get the Blu-ray for much less. And when you have the right equipment, and I'm just learning that now,
Makes a difference.
it does make a difference. And the Sony
Upscaling
tax
is
is
a
real.
beautiful thing. Not a lot of
Yes.
people know about that, but upscaling is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And, in my 4K Blu-ray player, it's Panasonic. I mean, UB820. I'm a step down from the 900 or 9000. So, that's kind of the way I look at it. And that's if Jerry isn't sending me boatloads of doubles that he has.
Shout out
Because
to
Jerry literally showered me with 3 boxes. And I was like, Jerry, I ain't got no damn room. I had to buy another shelf.
I could show you. I have like 3 stacks right here between Barnes and Noble and this sale, and just like stuff I didn't put away yet from major purchases and whatnot and so forth. But yeah.
But that's my method of madness. If I'm
Mhm.
not going to get it day one, I'll wait. And then, when the price drops, I'll get it if it's worth it. If not, I'll go hop on that Blu-ray so quick. And it's the same with 7. I was going to buy that big $150 box set.
I can wait.
And then I just started looking at it and I said, I got the Blu-ray.
I can wait.
I'll just wait. And if the picture's not that great, I'll be pissed, especially if you spend that kind of money. That's why I say all the time, spend your money how you want to spend it.
Yeah.
But when you're buying 7 different adaptations of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't tell me how to spend my money. Period. Ever. Don't tell me how to spend my money. If I only want to own the DVD or the Blu-ray, I'm going to only own the DVD and the Blu-ray. Having a 4K doesn't make you king of the food chain.
I double dipped once in a blue moon, and this was my double dip. I probably won't double dip for another.
Good movie. That's another underrated movie. Not a lot of people like that one from
Scorsese.
Scorsese, yeah. I'm trying to think. I've got Francis Coppola on the brain.
That's because of this.
Yeah. You showed me that, and now I got Francis on because of the little tribute video that I'm doing to him for next Sunday.
There's one more anonymous, and we have a couple more questions that people dropped in here. So let me go through the chat questions. Johnny asks, worst blind buy in your collection?
2 of them would be The Boy. I bought that blindly because my wife loves horror, and I was like, yeah, we'll check it out. Bought it day one, and that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't think of the movie right now, but it was a Criterion. It was one of the Criterions I have. I'd have to run back there and check it out, but I'll leave it in the comments at the end of the video.
All right,
but there was another one that I blind bought. No, it wasn't Criterion. I'm sorry. Lips of Blood. It's basically like something that I don't get down with. I don't really get down with porn like that. And it's kind of like pornographic, and I don't find those movies cool. Yeah. It's not my style. And I blind bought it because I'm part of Ryan's Discord. It's no secret.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were all ranting and raving about it. So I bought it day one. And when it came in, I watched it and I was like, this shit is garbage. And I want to sell it. But then again, I want to give it a few years and then go back to it. Sometimes if you wait 3-4 years and go back to a movie, your mindset is different. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's kind of more on like, they just want to show all this. And I'm just kind of like, this ain't a movie for me. I don't like those type of movies, man. I want some action. I want some shit going down.
There's other questions, but I got to throw this up just out of pure respect. People like to tell others how to spend their money. People buy what you want to buy and don't worry about what others spend their money on. Each collector is different.
Exactly.
Shout out to Tony.
Exactly. A lot of people would have an issue with him buying the slipcover, the steel book, and the regular, but it's his money.
And it's his collection.
I have 3 different versions of Ninja Turtles. I got the DVD, mm-hmm. I got the Blu-ray, and I got the Stenko Vision. Don't tell me how to spend my money. It's mine.
I'm listening to you, but I'm laughing at Cal because he's being himself. He said, "Cancel the 2 of us for that Scarface versus."
Yeah, we had that conversation earlier.
Bro,
me and Cal, when we get into
I've watched Scarface more times than Carlito's Way in my life.
See,
I could sit down in any state and quote that movie like a quote along, but beginning to end, solid, start to finish movie, Carlito's Way is solid, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take that from me. All right, couple more questions. James, here he is. What are a couple of your favorite movies that came out last year, 2023?
I don't go to the movies much. I did like the Five Nights at Freddy's, but that was a moment that me and my little guy shared. And I don't know the game. He is so heavy into the game that after the movie, he corrected me on everything. No, Dad. So I'm like, Bud, I just like the movie, okay?
Yeah.
Was it better than Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage? Absolutely not. But that was more of a horror rated R movie. This was aimed at kids. Mm-hmm. But I really had a good time with that. And once again, those are times that I can't get back. So me and my little guy went to the theater to go see it, and I had him on the review. It was just something different. So
that was so fun.
I really enjoyed that one. As far as 4K releases, I think The Exorcist was fantastic. Carlito's Way, that box set that Arrow put out that I bought, that I love, that I tried that different style review, which everybody appreciated. Appreciate the love on that. Just showing how it looks on the shelf and what's inside of it. I thought that was so organic, and nobody does that. They just hold it up and they open it, but I wanted to be a little bit different. So
yeah, I like the style of that.
Yeah, but those three were probably in my top, as far as like last year's releases. Oh, and in hip hop wise, AZ, his album Truth Be Told, KB Don't Sleep. I think I text you and
You
yes,
You did.
yo, Don't Sleep. Best half an hour, no skips. That album,
it's an EP, bro.
Fire.
It's
I know. Listen,
it's an EP.
He still got it.
There's something about like someone could say, "Oh, the album is tight." That is tight. That is tight. It's not even an album. It's an EP.
Yeah, but that's the attention span of these kids nowadays, and he's
It is
trying to appeal. It's the same with Benny the Butcher. His album's 35 minutes, and I'm like, come on, man, give me more.
Yeah,
but they're not used to that hour.
That AZ album, that was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Benny, you want a double album.
Yeah, but
you're not going to get it, but you want it.
No.
Talking about that, Laren asked, "Do you have a favorite double album?" That was what we call a segue in the business.
Yeah. So Biggie's Ready to Die. If you got the Nas Godson, he had a double on that one where it came with a special disc with a couple extra songs.
Mm-hmm.
That double disc was fire. Me Against the World. Was that the double?
Yeah.
Okay. Me Against the World.
All Eyes on Me.
And Biggie's Life After Death. I mean, that double album from beginning to end to beginning was no skips. Are there songs I can skip now? Yeah. But Long Kiss is definitely still my favorite song on that. Just the energy of that song. If you don't know what it is, Life After Death, Disc 2, Track 11, Long Kiss. It is fire. The energy on that, can't match it. And no, Cal, I did not say Blueprint 2 because that was originally a double disc, but that shit was trash. The Blueprint 2.1 was the original album that was supposed to come out. They pushed Jay into a double album because of the hype of the Blueprint. So don't blame Jay, blame the recording company.
Couple comments, then we'll get out of here. So talking about collections and what people buy, Anthony adds, people need to stay out of other people's pocket.
Truest statement ever. Jerry owns every Scream Factory, every single one. And he loves that shit. Even if the movie's bad, he'll still give it another shot. But he owns every single one. But the one thing that man does, the same thing that you do and I do, as long as my family and my bills are paid and they're taken care of, my wife wouldn't give a shit if I bought the $110 Clerks that I threw in the video and sent back. And I sent them that shit back with it broken.
Yeah.
When I threw that, I really threw that shit. I wasn't playing. That was the most ridiculous bullshit release ever. Anybody who likes that release, dead yourself. Okay, I can't stand that shit.
They got you. That's really what it is. They got you. Did you watch Mutant Mayhem? If so, what did you think? Being a Turtles fan.
Yes.
I gotta peep that, man. I've been hearing really good things since it was in the theater. I gotta check it out.
Okay, when you watch it, take the original Turtles right out of your mind and watch it. You have to go into it. And I told Brother D-Ray the same thing. I gave him my digital code.
Shout out D-Ray, man. Where you at?
He's still on his fasting. When you watch it, you have to take out our Turtles.
Yeah.
And go into it like you're watching a new theme of it, and you'll like it. If you go in with the expectations of it's going to be like our Turtles, you are going to be sadly mistaken. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say that I would pop it in as much as I did the original, but I did enjoy it, and I am looking forward to part 2.
Cool. I got to check it out. See, he's being nice to you now. So he says, maybe my second or third time having a combo with Nick, and he's been really cool. Salute for all the shout outs. Appreciate it. That's love, man. That's love.
Yeah, man.
Emmett's in here.
We can have a adult conversation.
Yeah, you can't do that with everybody.
Yeah, you can't. If I started talking Chucky and how stupid it is to somebody like the dude, he'd probably have a heart attack. But
out to the dude, man.
Yeah, but you can't. You can't take it to heart. Everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah. Emmett wants to know: do you like Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
Not Friday the 13th. You can kick that shit right to the curb. The original is the best. That's it. I hate the entire franchise.
I'm not the only one who doesn't have the Scream Factory box set.
No. And the only reason why Jerry has it is because he collects Scream Factory. But yeah. Freddy.
This is the year, man. I'm feeling it.
He is the man.
This is the year. I saw it 4K more than a year ago. This is the year.
I'm hoping.
Transfer looks beautiful, by the way.
To me, Jason just never did it for me. I was never scared of him as a kid. If he would have run at me with a chainsaw or that knife or whatever, I'd whoop his motherfucking ass.
Ghostface is in here, and he's been cracking jokes since it started, going back to you only having 3 best movies of the 70s.
Okay, you want to hear a hot take? You want to hear a hot take? I never saw a Taxi Driver yet.
You should check it out, especially since that's 70s and Raging Bull is 80s.
Yeah, I love Raging Bull. I just never got around to watching Taxi Driver. I will check it out at some point.
They also want to know your thoughts on the cringe of Blank Check, that kiss at the end. Have you seen Blank Check?
Blank Check from the 90s?
Yeah.
The Disney joint?
Yeah.
Of course I have. Personally, I would have slided the pipe, but that's just me personally.
Even at that age, huh?
Even at that age, bro. Listen, I had crushes on my teachers too, and if they'd have gave me a chance, I'd have kept my mouth shut. I don't know what the hell is wrong with all these kids nowadays. Got all these hot ass teachers, and they be talking.
I know. It's like that didn't happen. We had teachers all as dirt.
Well, I had a few, but there was a couple of teachers I was like,
there was no Miss Crabtrees in my school, man. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we got things out in the open.
I just hope
that you have taken steps.
When it comes to Rat Pack, I still got love for them. Even if they don't know I'm watching the videos, I'm watching the videos. Still got love for Ken. I got love for everybody. Like I said, you should be able to separate. And Emmett asked a question earlier. He obviously wasn't here. But yes, me and Bob have talked. Bob is fine. And we are fine. We are, it's not like this. And I still, to this day, tell Bob the same thing I tell Jerry, the same thing I tell everybody. If you need something, I am either a message or a DM away. I don't shy away from anybody. I don't leave people on red, and I'm not better than anybody else. I'm here to make the videos I love, and if you enjoy them, enjoy them. If you don't, move along.
Yeah.
Look at the thumbnail. If the thumbnail doesn't antagonize you, don't click it.
I know. People.
But Johnny, stop running.
Johnny,
stop running.
I don't understand hate watching. There are people that I know don't like me. I just unsubscribe. I don't know. They could be making money. They could be, thousands of followers. I don't care. I don't.
Yeah.
And if they feel that way about me, I'm none the wiser because I don't know. I don't care. But if I see something I don't like to watch it, or it's something that doesn't appeal to me, continue on. Yeah. Life goes on. So do I.
And I hate this misconception that you have to comment every single time to let people know that you're watching.
Nah.
If you do that, you don't have time to watch it. And I can't watch everybody's video. So well, I've got a couple of announcements, and I am going to get you on, KB. We got to figure out
Sure,
a
go for it.
criteria and all that. But I do have, if you know the original Fuzz,
Yeah,
I do have
I want to
him.
have a conversation with him too.
Yes, and I can make that happen for you.
Please do.
But I have him coming for a top 5 pretty soon. Johnny, when he's done running or quote unquote moving, he's been moving for a while now. When he's done moving, I am trying to get guests that I had on before to do different ones. Like I said, I reached out to a few. I guess there's not as many Simpson fans as I thought there was. But definitely going to try to have Dell on again. I want to do another, movie with him because I really liked exchanging. But there's a couple of things I got coming down the line. And Johnny, I also like Skidamarink as well. If you actually watch the movie and get the premise of the movie, it is a great movie. I don't know why I got so much hate. If you understand what the movie's about.
I think that's what it is. Not enough people understood what the movie is about.
Yeah. So it is a good movie, though.
I do have one announcement, like I mentioned before. Next week, Wednesday, we'll have a pre-recorded show, but check it out anyway. I'll try to put it up early enough in the day if you want to catch it on your lunch hour or whatever. But K-Man says here, congratulations to Anthony Horrors and More for being the horror YouTuber of the month. Everyone, please go vote for the next one. And he adds that Allie and I can't wait to be on, KB. We're very excited and honored to be a part of your show. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it.
I would check you out. I've never heard of Andy's in horror.
Yeah, he has good content, man.
I'll definitely go check him out. And sorry, I did vote for Captain. Captain is my guy. But so it was a tough choice because Adam is my guy too. I'm trying to get both of them on the top 5 as well down the line. But it's hard when everybody just wants to talk about horror. It's
you got to be well versed.
And while I love horror, it's like my 4th favorite genre. And if you want to talk gangster, hood, I'm there. You want to talk comedy, please. If you think you can bury me in comedy, let me know.
We still got to do a New Jersey Drive episode. Like whenever you're ready. I know you did some stuff with that and you had in life lessons and all that, but I think we need to do.
We need to do my original plan and
the round table. The round table.
Yes.
Now that I'm doing it, we need to do one just on hood classics.
Yes, I would be able to do that, except my schedule would be kind of hard.
Well,
my next
there's nothing stopping us from doing it on a weekend, bro.
Yeah, if you want to do it on a weekend.
I do the Mondays and the Wednesdays, but I could hit up a Saturday. I do the Saturdays for the people overseas, so I could do a Saturday for that. I think it'll be fun.
I'll be down with that. I would love that original idea. I would love for Mika, you, and believe it or not, Jerry, Dell.
I think it'd be
just
fun.
Nothing but love. Floyd, you gotta, he gotta come because Floyd's my guy.
In the house.
Yeah.
So Dell says let him know when you have another weeknight free. He's been banned from weekends. So you guys situate that over on the IG or whatever. But
we'll work that out. But the rest of us, we can do a weekday or weekend for the overseas.
Get Guy on. That's right. The reason I had Miss Caveman on is because she's the horror lover in the family. He is notorious for not liking horror, so he'll gladly, and he loves comedy too. So he's great for talking like old school 70s, 80s comedies. He'd be a great person to get on. Maybe you could do a top 5 with him. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I would do a top 5 with him any day of the week. Also, my wife, I would love if she would get on camera. I will put my wife when it comes to B movies. When I did that, remember last year in October when I did like a whole bunch of just B movies. I didn't talk about mainstream movies. It was all her. You know what I mean? She introduced me to all those movies. And when it comes to B movies, I think y'all would have some heavy competition if you think you can outdo her. I'm like, who the hell heard of Milo? You know what I'm saying? And then here I am trying to explain it in a
Mm-hmm.
video without giving it
You
away.
should have just let her do it.
Well, at that point, I mean, not that she's camera shy, but you know, 'cause I think my wife's amazingly beautiful, but she doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
I
It's
hear you. I hear
just
you.
who she is. But again, I appreciate this, KB, and
Appreciate you, man.
Cal, you never seen New Jersey Drive? Come on, man, I can't believe that one. Come on.
Go
We were
order the
just talking
DVD on
King-
Amazon. It comes in a
Yeah.
4-pack. You get 3 other movies for the price of one.
Yeah, and you know what? Carlito's Way, Rise to Power. Not that it's a fantastic movie, but I rewatched it, and it's not as bad as I thought. It is not the greatest,
Tough. It's
but
tough.
it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll stick with
it's
the
really
original, bro. But I got
yeah,
it.
oh yeah,
I own
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I own it, but I'll stick with the original.
Puffy was the only one that pissed me off there, but you know,
That's when he got money.
I still can't see Puffy as a gangster. I know he's quote unquote a gangster, but I
Nah.
dare that motherfucker to ask me to go walk to New York for some cheesecake.
I was about to say, go get some cheesecake from Junior.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why God, when I did that audition for him, when I was rapping for him for that Making the Band auditions,
Oh,
I think that's
no.
why after my 16 bars, he was like, "You're good, but not what I'm looking for. Get out of here," because I wouldn't have did it. I'm sorry, I don't care about none of that shit. I wouldn't have did it. We ain't making me walk. That's not showing loyalty. That's showing that you have a slave. I ain't no slave.
No, it's
bro.
showing that you're desperate. That's what it's showing.
Yeah.
To wrap this up, great stream. If you're watching on the replay, please like and subscribe. The man said it for me. I don't have to say it again. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Thank you for the questions, anonymous and otherwise. Thank you for anybody checking out on the replay. Tell people where you could find you, sir.
Movie AV Impulse, as it says on there. That's my YouTube channel, also my TikTok. But I'll be honest, my TikTok is just to tease you with you know, I'm not a big TikTok fan. I just throw stuff up there.
Yeah.
Too short of content. I like long content.
Yeah.
And you know, you can find me on Instagram at Nick of Movie AV Impulse. Not that the name was taken. I just like saying Nick because that's who everybody knew me on Instagram by. So, and again, if you don't know me, but you have something that you need to talk to and get something out of the outer circle, besides this brother right here, KB, and a very few others, reach out. You know, I'd rather help somebody through something than to watch somebody suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out his life lessons, man. If nothing else, go on his channel, his YouTube channel, and just check out the life lessons. Brother speaking.
Yeah. And again,
power.
It was the real pain in the ass that did my intro. So stop asking. Thank you.
Oh, man. Everyone have a great night. And as I always say, go watch a movie. We out.
Later.
This was fun.